Hello Year 6, welcome to another Year 6 Maths meeting. As always, you need something to write with and something to write on. Okay, let's get started. Watch out for our new character from this week. We're going to kick off with knowing what Noah knows. Today we're multiplying by decimals, so remember, still using related facts. Off you go. Okay, let's see how we got on. I'm going to use the related fact that 8 multiplied by 9 is 96. But I need to make my answer 10 times smaller because 0.8 is 10 times smaller than the 8 I used to multiply. Let's have a look at the second one. I'm going to use the related fact that 7 times 7 is equal to 49 and make my answer 10 times smaller because 0.7 is 10 times smaller than the 7 I used with my related facts. Really great job if you got those Year 6. All right, we're over to ratio with Horatio. Horatio is making a cake. He needs 150 ml of milk and 200 grams of flour. What is the ratio of milk to flour? Writing the ratio for Horatio, off you go. Okay, let's see how you got on. We're writing the ratio of milk to flour. The ratio of milk to flour is 150 to 200. That's the ratio. But well done if you spotted that this ratio could be simplified, 15 to 20, or even better in its simplest form, 3 to 4. Really great job, Year 6. Any of these ratios would be correct because they are all equivalent. Okay, moving on now to Fahim's factors. Fahim wants the common factors of 30 and 20. Pause your video and have a go at finding the common factors of 30 and 20. All right, let's see how we got on. I see the word factor. When I see factor, I draw bugs. That's right, Year 6. You should have drawn 2 factor bugs, one for 30 and one for 20. If you haven't done this, you might want to pause the video and draw these factor bugs so that you can ensure you've got all the factors for these numbers and then the common factors. But if you did draw your bugs, they should look a little like this. The factors for 30, 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. Notice how I do them systematically to make it easier to make sure that I've got them all. Once I'm happy I've got all the factors for 30, I'm moving on to 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Now I'm looking for the factors which appear for both 30 and 20, the common factors. That gives me 1, 2, 5 and 10. Well done if you got those Year 6. Percy Percent, our new character for the week. Pause your video and write down the 3 things that Percy knows. All right, let's see how you got on. Did you remember that percent means out of 100? Did you remember the percent symbol? Did you remember that percent is a fraction? Well done if you've got those Year 6. Okay, now let's look at Percy in action. 75% of 40 and then 10% of 560. Pause your video and have a go. Okay, let's have a look. Remember, Percy's just using facts he knows to solve these problems. Percy knows that 75% is 75 out of 100, simplifies down to 3/4. Percy knows he just needs to find 3/4 of 40. 3/4 of 40 is equal to 30. So let's move on to 10% of 560. Percy knows that 10% is equal to 10 out of 100, but simplified to 1/10. Oh, 10% is exactly the same as finding 1/10. 1/10 of 560, well, I'll just divide it by 10. 56. Great job if you used your related facts to solve these. All right, we're moving on to say it with Sam. Sam is multiplying 2/7 by 84. Let's have a look. I am finding 2/7 of 84. Now you say it. I am finding 2/7 of 84. Your turn again. For today, I'd like you to write down the 2 steps to solving this problem. Pause your video and have a go at writing the 2 steps and then solving this problem. All right, let's see how we got on. Step 1, we should be finding 1/7 of 84. Step 2, then we'll find 2/7 of 84. And it should look a little bit like this. To find 1/7 of 84, I'm going to do 84 divided by 7. That gives me 12. This is the first step, but it's not the answer. I wanted 2/7 of 84, so I need to multiply that 1/7 of 84 by 2. 12 times 2 gives me 24. 2/7 of 84 is equal to 24. Great job if you got that one, Year 6. All right, back to Sam. Sam's dividing by 6 this time. He's finding 1/6. All right, let's say this together. I am finding 1/6 of 7/8. Let's try and say it again. I am finding 1/6 of 7/8. Now say it by yourself. Okay, remember to write it down before you try to solve it. Okay, let's see how you got on Year 6. I'm finding 1/6 of 7/8. Now that I've written it down, I know I'm just multiplying these fractions. 1/6 multiplied by 7/8 gives me 7/48, just timesing across. 7/48 is your answer. Great job, Year 6. All right, we're moving on to Ariana Grande now. Ariana is finding the area of this triangle. I'd like you to pause your video and write down any formula you know for finding the area of a triangle. All right, let's see what you've got. You should either have half base times height, half height times base, or base times height and halve them. Any of these formulae will give you the answer to this question. You might want to have a look at the most efficient method for finding the area of this triangle. So pause your video and have a go. Okay, let's see how you got on. I'm going to use the fact that I can do half the height and multiply it by the base, because I know half of 16 gives me 8, and 8 times 6 is just a fact I know. 8 times 6 is equal to 48, and I've put it in context to find the area of a triangle, 48 centimetres squared. Okay, we're going to do a bit of Theo revision now. Theo is thinking of a number. He added 17. He divides it by 2. He then subtracts 3. He ends up with 50. But what was the number that Theo was thinking of? Pause your video and write down your method and then solve it. Okay, let's see how you got on. You should have a method that looks a bit like this, doing all of Theo's steps so that we're ready to inverse and find the answer. Theo's thinking of a number. We don't know it at the moment, so it's a variable. I'm using a question mark. But we do know that he added 17. We do know that he then went on to divide by 2. Then he subtracts 3, and he ends up with the answer 50. Now it's our turn to use the inverse, work backwards, and find out the number he was thinking of, remembering to work backwards through his equation. So he took away 3, we're going to add 3 to make 53. He halved it, we're going to double it to give me 106. He added 17, but we've got to take that away. He had 89 to begin with. Theo, were you thinking of the number 89? He was. Well done again, Year 6. Brilliant maths meeting today. Remember, you can go back through the video and look at all of these examples again. You're working really hard. Great job, Year 6.